Hello everyone, welcome back to Plan B Terraform. Last episode we left off growing New Bangkok over here to reach our population goal of 10,000 in the city. That's our current objective. So we set everything up, so we're just going to let that play out and grow and keep an eye on making sure all the materials are being delivered to keep up with their annual supply, which is currently asking for 103. So we'll press play in a minute and keep an eye on that, but in the meantime, while that's going on, we have some cleanup to do. If we look at the aluminum pit over here, we were manufacturing depots over here, as well as manufacturing high-tech parts up here, which was supplying two assembly plants over here, one making trains, one making greenhouse gas generator trains, and the depots should really be moved to the hub. That's what the hub is built for. So I am going to transfer those two manufacturer assembly plants down here. Alright, so those are set up. We've got a train manufacturer right here. This train assembly plant picking up mechanical parts and high-tech parts off of our hub here. And right above it I have two depot makers making depot Mark IIs. Now if we ever need them faster, I can always add another one of these over here and just click on the truck stop and increase how fast the materials are being delivered here. But for now we don't need that, but it's always easily expandable if need be. Let's check on our city real quick while we're waiting before we get to the next thing. Looks like it's doing okay. Let's see what the supply is up to. Supply is up to 134, which looks like we're like the metal waste recycling. We always want to be close to empty, which it is, so that's good there. Oxygen is filled. Now that these high-tech parts are gone, we can change those over to be oxygen. Reinforced concrete is holding up strong. And high-tech parts looks like they're struggling a little bit. We got plenty down here, so let's see how fast they're being delivered. 124, so that's why. So we just got to add another train to this route. Boom, now it's up to 249, so now should stockpile that in no time. Alright, so at the steel yard here, I tidied that up a little bit. We have cleaned up the dead extractors, and I did not expand the ore collection. You can see the ore is still empty. We're overproducing steel right now a little bit, so I'll show you that in a minute, but I don't want to speed up manufacturing of this too fast because we already have too much steel in inventory as it is. And the other steel pit up here, I just tidied this up a little bit, made it so that the extractors are being manufactured again. Got rid of the dead ones. Nothing too crazy. So if we look at our steel yard over here, you can see we're with steel to the max. Everything's maxed out over here, and it's also maxed out in the city. I'll show you that in a minute. But our aluminum here is actually running low, it looks like. So let's go over to the aluminum pit and see what that's about. Our aluminum is right over here. It looks like we have plenty of aluminum here, so we probably just don't have enough trains delivering. Let's see, this is the origin, so must be the right one. And we're only delivering 179, and I think we're burning through it at like 400. So we're going to add a couple trains to this to keep them moving. So that's 315. We'll see how that does. You can see it added. I'll play here. But you can see it added a whole bunch of empty trains. These are all going to load up now. So that'll keep our aluminum going. Now it should refill our aluminum yard over here. It'll take some time to get it all over here, but we have plenty to work with right now. Now over at the city here, we're at 8,700 population. You can see it counting up right here. So we click on the supply center. It's currently demanding 170, so it's gone up quite a bit. But while it's growing, I like to have supply centers dotted along the entire thing here. But if you do it in between growth, it does delete some of the population, so I usually put them in while I'm growing so that the population just kicks back in. Because eventually we'll need these all to be able to supply the city fast enough. Kind of future-proofing it, I guess. I always do this while it's growing because I just deleted quite a bit of population by doing that. So anyways, looking at our metal waste here, if you go down to our recycling center, you can see steel and metal waste is stacking up here because steel is full. And that's because we're producing too much steel right now, so that's why I did not expand the steel yard yet. So the way we're going to fix this right now is just by adding more of these for now, more depots, as well as more of these. That'll hold us for now, and then I'll actually add another train to this line, which will pick up even more steel. So that'll hopefully get us through the hump until steel production picks up, which it should in the near future, I think. Okay, New Bangkok has grown close to the 10,000 mark. We're at 9,954. I have it paused so we could look at it real quick before it gets to the 10,000 mark. But as you can see, it's sprawled out quite a bit from our original size of 3 people. We've got quite a bit of buildings attached to the city. And if we click on the supply center here, it shows that demand is close to 190. So that's why I did I based all my calculations on 200 because I knew it was going to get up to around that. So then the trick, I think, is when we hit the 10,000, I think supply drops. The demand for supply drops, but we were already producing stuff at 200 and now it's going to drop in half, so a little bit of a challenge there to not over stockpile, which we already have a problem with steel right now, but let's let it run, see what happens. Should get there in no time. 980, 990, and there we go. I'm going to pause it real quick. So now our next goal is to increase the temperature by 30 degrees. We've already done 18. If we bring up the temperature chart, let's close the objective here. You can see our temperature, our pressure is basically leveled off because we've been ignoring it for a long time. Same with that average temperature down here. It's leveled off because we haven't really been paying attention to it. So we can easily fix that by adding some greenhouse gas extractors, but we'll do that in a second. Let's look at the supply demand real quick here. So it has dropped to 100. So it was 190, now it's dropped to 100. But it has added the added requirement of food. So we're going to leave our production at 200 right now because it's going to fluctuate. So over here, which is where we were handling the gas extractor, you can see the fluorite patch has been neglected and hasn't. So all I got to do is move these extractors over to here, move this truck line over, and we'll start producing greenhouse gas again, which will raise the temperature. As well, I'm going to go down to the other city. I think there was another patch down here. We clicked the mineral view here. Yes, there's another patch of fluorite down by New Rio de Janeiro. So we'll put some extractors here and some gas generators here. Okay, so over by New Bangkok here, I've cleaned this up a little bit. Let's hit play. Cleaned this up a little bit, made sure there was sulfur being delivered to the truck stop here. Same as up here, we just got to move this truck stop, so all I got to do is click on it. Click change the origin, change it to there. Our trucks will probably have to take an extra loop or two to get on the new route. Let's fast forward it and see. Oh, there's nothing being delivered yet. There we go. So they picked it up right away. That's good. By New Rio de Janeiro. So I just covered this patch right now. Set a train to just take it over to where the sulfur is at, and then I just carted the sulfur across with depots to get these operating. I don't know if it'll be able to run all those. I didn't do any calculations. I just slapped a whole bunch down, so we'll see how well it keeps up. So that's good there. Pretty soon, I think, so this green line is SF6 pressure. It's going to go up a little bit, but it's going to level out for a while. We're going to have to work on NF3 pressure as well. Now, NF3 pressure is just built by, there we can slap down a greenhouse generator and show you. NF3 is nitrogen and fluoride. So fluoride is the green stuff we've been working with, but nitrogen comes from ice extractors, which we have not built yet. So that's next on our list. As well as we unlocked. So ice extractors down here require reinforced concrete and mechanical parts. So we'll add that to the hub, as well as in anticipation of needing food, we will add greenhouses to our hub as well. Alright, so I started working on the hub over here. Got 2 stations added, one for ice extractors, one for greenhouses. Ice extractors require mechanical parts, which I got delivered here. I just wanted to show you how easy it was now that I have all this set up. So this needs reinforced concrete, so all I gotta do is run a truck stop from the reinforced concrete stop, which is right here, to right there, set it to reinforced concrete, and now we're manufacturing those as well. Anytime I need to make any adjustments to it, I can easily come back and just adjust how many trucks are on the stop to start or stop manufacturing of the ice extractors. Now I know we're going to need a lot of these, so I'm going to make sure that it's supplied. I'll go ahead and hit play here. So it needs 24 per year of each. So if I click on the truck stop, I can see this is only delivering 12. So now it's delivering 23. I want to make sure it never stops, so I'm going to do an extra one just in case. Because I know we're going to need a boatload of these to start with. Let's check the mechanical parts. Same thing, that's got 27 being delivered, so that's good there. Now, greenhouses need steel bars and polymer bars. So steel bars we can quickly add by going up to our hub here, selecting the one spot that's available, and steel bars. So it's just super easy to add stuff this way. I like centralizing it like this. It's just easier to keep track of what's being manufactured and how fast, and if I need to add some, it's relatively easy to add. So there you go, easy enough. So now the temperature's up to 21 out of the 30. So the temperature is slowly going up, but at this rate it will be here forever. So I think I'm going to add some of the other gas in to speed up the process a little bit, because right now the effect of this diminishes as you add more of them. So we can keep adding more of these, but it won't have as strong effect as adding the NF3 pressure. So let's add some NF3 pressure in order to do that. Zoom out here. We need to find some fluorite, the green stuff, which is in the North Pole, because that way I can put an ice extractor down next to it. It looks like there's a patch right here. So yes, we'll turn this patch, we'll mine this patch, put some ice extractors next to it, which will take out nitrogen and combine those into the gas generator and make NF3 gas. Alright, so here it is. Got 24 ice extractors up here. Now these ice extractors do it super slowly, only 5 per year. So super slow, considering these need, let's see, there's 30 cycles and it uses 1 per cycle, so 30 per year. So 6 of these per every one of these. So that's why I have 24 and 4. That'll produce nitrogen. So unpause it here. And that way these guys will mine the fluoride, just transferred up by depots. Same with the nitrogen. They'll collect it, send it down this way. And we're producing NF3 gas just like that. Alright, so while I was waiting, I expanded it a little bit more. We have a total of 6 NF3 ones down here now. Seem to speed it along pretty well. We're just about there. And there you go. So now our our objective is to reach a population of 1,000 in our second biggest city. So our second biggest city, and we've unlocked a whole bunch of tempered steel, dams, and pumping stations. So we'll get to those in a little bit. But first let's get this other goal out of the way. This one shouldn't be too hard. So our biggest city is New Bangkok over here. Let's see, what's our population over here? It should be around 10,000. Yeah, 10,038. And then our second biggest city is Rio de Janeiro down here. And we've already got this one set up really. We're actually already at 999 of 1,000, so there you go. Done deal. So we've got to focus on getting some food up here, I believe, because what is the supply? So, yeah, it's requesting food now, so we got to get a food line up and running. And I believe I put down supply centers here that I meant to put these guys down. And now it's doing organic waste, so we got to handle organic waste as well as create food. So let's work on those production chains next. Alright, so food production for New Bangkok first starts with nitrogen and water, which I've built this really long train line up to the North Pole where our ice extractors are located. Currently have 85 ice extractors doing water and another 22 ice extractors doing nitrogen. Now these produce both nitrogen and water, but I just have them separated to keep things simplified so I can keep track of it easier. That is transported down to the city, to New Bangkok. And the city also produces organic waste right now at a waste production rate of 150. That's going to go up to 300 in order to reach the 30,000. So organic waste is taken to a recycling center. Recycling center takes organic waste and nitrogen and mixes it to make compost. It then takes that compost, mixes it with some water in a greenhouse to make food. So the food will then be transported to the city. Now the organic waste is not enough supply of compost, so you can make compost from nitrogen and carbon in a factory, and it will make compost here. So I'm going to somehow prioritize it so it uses the compost from this production recycling center organic waste first before it uses that, so we will transport it more heavily from there. So now what we got to do is transport it to the city. Let's do so real quick. Transporting food. And we're going to need enough to do 200. Now I had to do a little chain of depots here to get us over to the city, so hopefully this depot can keep up to these supply centers with food until the city grows. Then I will get rid of these and it will be attached to the city. So now we just gotta let it go and we should start growing here pretty soon. Alright, and there you go, food has been delivered. Our city is now growing again. We should be able to reach 30,000 in no time. Our annual supply is currently creeping up. It was 100, it's now 112. It'll probably get to 200. You can see our population going up quite rapidly here. So we should be at 30,000 in no time. All we gotta do is sit here and watch our city grow for a little bit. Okay, and we've reached 30,000. Our next goal is to reach 100,000 in our biggest city. We're at level 15. I believe there is only 18 levels. But we're going to work on each city, getting them up to hit that 1 million mark. So annual supply did not drop after reaching the 30,000. It remains at 215. It will continue to climb to reach that 100,000 mark. I believe it'll get up to nearly 500 annual supply demand. So we will have to expand all our industries to be able to handle 500 supply. Now while we've been doing that, our temperature has been climbing slowly with all the gas we've been releasing. We're down negative 14 degrees average. But at the equator here, you can see our temperature is actually in the bottom of this middle of the screen. You can see it says today was an average of 3 degrees here. And we have water forming, which is good news because in order to produce 500 food, we'll need a lot of water. We needed 85 extractors for 200 supply, so we need roughly 2.5 times that for 500 supply. But pumping stations pump water a lot faster than the ice extractors do, so we will take advantage of the water and use those instead. So that'll do it for this episode. Next episode we will continue growing our city to the 100,000 mark. Thank you for watching.